Knicks Morning Coffee. I'm Mr. King. Y'all know my partner, Joe Cool.
What's the word? What's the word?
All right, today is Juneteenth. I hope everybody get out and celebrate the holiday and find out what it's all about. Also, to all the fathers and grandfathers, hope you had a great Father's Day yesterday. All right, before we jump into it, there's a little bit to talk about with the draft. But please like, comment, subscribe, share it with a friend. All we ask is that you hit that like button and subscribe button. It don't cost you nothing. And let's go. All right, so the draft now is about 4 days away. And we don't have a draft pick, but we do got draft assets in the form of future first-round draft picks. So it's just like there's talk going on that Leon Rose is plotting to try to get into the first round using his future draft picks as bait. Like I ain't married to holding on to our draft picks, but I don't want to waste them. I don't want to waste them on just for the sake of making a move, because there's nothing you could do to sneak into the lottery. And the only good thing about using our draft picks, our future draft picks, is that at least it's known that he's going to make sure that they're lottery protected. So at least if you got to give them up, save it just in case you had something really bad happen and you had a bad season. So for that, I applaud that. But I just think that our future for next year, after the way we finish the season, I don't think the draft is is what's going to get us over the hump. But what I do want if somebody knows about that guy Isaiah Roby that we picked up at the end of the season, that we gave that $400,000 to. Now I think by the time the contract was $400,000, but I don't think he actually got that much. But why did we give this kid that much money for one day, and he didn't even play for one game, if he wasn't an asset to bring back the following year? So if anybody knows anything about that, please put in the comments to let me know, because I don't have a clue on why we made that kind of move for the last game of the season. We gave this guy a lot of bread. So as far as
was it to fill a roster spot?
I can't be. You ain't gonna give that kind of money. You get that more than guys that's getting paid on your team already. You brought up the kid from the G League that you didn't use. So why you could have brought someone else from the G League?
Yeah,
why bring up an outsider? But as far as on the trade front, free agency, RJ Barret seems to me to be the one most people are willing to part with. So in that case, if you are going to part with RJ, I think the Knicks got to definitely figure out a way to be creative, just to let do what people do to us. Let them know, bank on the fact that he was a third overall pick and his upside. Now, after 4 or 5 years, your upside supposed to already be what it is. But I still wouldn't just give him away as a third overall pick. Because the good thing about the Knicks, from the Knicks in the past, is that we had 6 guys that played regularly that we actually drafted. 4 was in the regular rotation. 2 played decent amount because of injury, which would have been Jericho and Deuce. So other than, if you could have got, when you think about Frank Ntilikina and Kevin Knox, if one of them could have panned out with the other guys that you drafted, you could say that we had great success in the last 6-7 drafts.
Right.
But the first 2 we shipped out, who didn't even really, nowhere close to what their potential was. We didn't know what Frank's was, but we knew that Knox should have been a little bit more. So now the thing with the Washington Wizards, Bill was supposedly high on the Knicks' radar. We know that there's interest with Porzingis. So now that Bill is gone, Chris Paul is gone. Even though Chris Paul can opt out, he can get traded. After getting bought out. So what do you take with the Wizards with Porzingis? Would you move him in there somewhere, or?
Yeah, I'll take him back, but I don't know. Can't be only Porzingis. I don't think that make us any better. Unless we're gonna bank on Obi, because if we get Porzingis, what they gonna want, Randall?
Yeah, I don't know what.
Or they gonna want.
See, that's the thing. I don't know what.
Like if they're gonna want Obi, It still work out.
It would have to be more than Obi still.
That's what I'm saying. Like, if we're gonna, Porzingis is good only if certain things, like certain players are good only if certain things happen. So if we're gonna shop RJ, if we got something better than RJ, and then we got Porzingis, then yeah.
Yeah, because my take with that is, I wouldn't mind having Porzingis back, but not as the number 2 option.
Yeah.
You know, maybe 3, 2, depending on what our other team surrounding look like.
Any injury prone.
Yeah, but I mean, it's something about playing around our guys. I don't know if that would have been his main issue, because if you still got a Mitchell Robinson, you're not asking him to do the dirty stuff.
Yeah, because what Porzingis do, Randall was doing.
Yeah,
he gonna just shoot it from 3-point line.
Yeah, I mean, if he had them both, and you still was able to keep Mitch, that means Porzingis ain't starting. I don't think you'll pay him all that kind of money
go on the post,
if he's not starting. He can. Yeah, I mean, he can, but his forte is shooting. But even when we had him, he proved he could go in the post. One of the things that intrigued me a little bit was if he was talking about an overhaul, which I know the Knicks ain't going to do, Toronto is looking to upseat their roster. So Van Fleet, to me, is out because that's too short of a backcourt. And he would fit more like somebody with the Lakers. Siakam and Anunoby, those I would like. Now, to get Siakam, you definitely got to give up Randall because they play the same position. If you could figure out a way to get Anunoby, you could keep Randall. So stuff like that works. But I don't know why it came to my mind the other day, just this crazy scenario, and I shouldn't even put it out there. Like with the Knicks, would you trade your big 3 for Toronto's big 3? Because of Jalen Brunson, right? Yeah, if it was the other way around, even though Siakam might have numbers-wise the same as Randall, to me, Siakam don't have the same impact as Randall.
Yeah, no.
So, I like Siakam, but not at that cost. But I like Anunoby. And he will be one of my list of like 5 or 6 small forwards that I think the Knicks should go after, which we're going to touch on real quick. But it's just something to say that if we was to have Toronto's big 3, do our guys around them as it stands fit? And that to me, that unless our shooters were a little bit better, unless grinding them a little bit more, a little more consistent, then to me that answer then might have been no. Now what about the Bulls? The Zach LaVine thing is still out there, and then a little bit of DeRozan. And I like either one of those if it's RJ.
Yeah.
I don't like either one of those for Randall.
Yeah, nah.
Yeah, I would rather pair them with Randall. But for RJ, most of the scenarios in my mind that I see out there, it involves us keeping Randall. So a Zach LaVine, who I'm not really high on, I wasn't high on as you were last year.
Because I'm thinking about not a support player, but that extra added piece.
Yeah, and he plays. He's not an injury-prone player. That's the beauty of him. He plays. And then something that might sound like good news for you, I was watching this thing on Chat Sports, and that was a hypothetical, and they was talking about that if the Knicks wanted to, they could try to go after Ingram.
Oh, yeah,
that's
what I want.
And then I started looking up. I said, let me look up Ingram right quick just to see, would he be in place of Randall or would he be for Randall? Because we already had Randall was already in the playing over there with him. What his playing time? He only played the last 5-6 seasons. He only played about 60 games a season.
Who, Ingram?
Yeah, only one time I saw where he played 62 games, 61 or 62 games.
Oh, he's hurt a lot too.
Yeah, I knew he was hurt in the beginning of his career. I didn't know because we don't see the Pelicans on TV, so. I didn't know he was that hurt. Like we know when Kawhi and them do it, you don't know if Kawhi's hurt or he's loading. But in Ingram's case, if Zion is already out and Ingram been playing, then something is wrong right there. What about your take on the Knicks going after Zion? Because he clearly wants out.
I wouldn't give a block for him neither. As good as he is, you can't trust that he's not going to be hurt.
Yeah, especially any deal involving Zion probably would involve sending RJ that way. So he wouldn't have that support on our side in terms of. Well, I mean, he know all them other young guys.
I feel like if we lost RJ for something extra, I don't think it hurts as much as losing.
No, I mean having his boy there. I'm talking about.
Oh, having his boy there.
Yeah. Like, does he want to come because he want to be in New York, or would he want to come because he want to be with his?
But I think he wanted to be in New York regardless if RJ came or not.
Yeah.
But I think if it was up to him, he would have rather had got drafted to New York.
Oh, at that time, yeah, at that time. But again, I wouldn't. It wouldn't kill me to have Zion even with the injuries, if we could get 60 games out of him.
And with Zion playing center?
No, he'd probably be our power forward. Now, if you had Randall, that would create a problem. If you got them both, you would have to make a decision.
This is in thinking if Obi would get more playing time just in case Zion had got hurt or something, but I would do it.
Yeah, and I couldn't see you holding on. If you got that, people like that would probably have to be included. You know, good assets would have to be, because they keep saying that it's definitely time for Obi to go, because nobody, when they drafted him, nobody foreseen Randall having 2 out of 3 All-Star seasons. But I just don't understand why Obi can't get some minutes at the 3 with Randall and a center. I don't understand why that don't even cross Tibbs' mind. I could see Obi getting 3 minutes, especially this time now. Team's going to try to come back a little bit bigger after what Denver did.
Right.
So having Obi get some minutes at the 3, even coming off the bench, ain't going to hurt nobody. And when you want to go small, then you can plug him in at the 4. But I think the Knicks, we're not looking at everything that Obi can offer before we start making all these moves, including him in trades and draft picks.
All the players, I think I'm leaning more towards Karl-Anthony Towns.
Yeah, I'm starting to now. For some reason, as time goes by.
Even when we're talking to the homies, they don't really want Towns like that, but I'm starting to think Towns, Brunson, players with better IQ, I think we will look better. I feel like you get Towns, there's more other players you can get. Plus
he's going to show up offensively every night. And the thing about Towns, I think too, is I don't think nobody want him until you get him. And after Denver after Phoenix, after those teams pulling that trade so fast, one thing I don't want to be, if you are planning to make a move, meaning the Knicks, I don't want to be the last one that don't get a chair when the music stops. Like, don't play possum so much that now players going to start coming off the board after this one. They're going to start coming off the board before we get to the trade deadline and before we get to free agency. So if that's the case, if you know what you want, why wait? If money's not the issue, go out and try to get what you want right now. And making a move now can save you whatever you need to do, whatever you need to save you come draft time and come free agency. Because if teams going to make these moves now, let's don't be the last ones and then have to settle.
Yeah, I think the issue right now is they probably trying to build around Brunson, but they're trying to see who matches when you get RJ and Randall. So the people you go after, it got to be well worth it, because you might lose Obi or you might lose Grimes in one of those moves. And now you got to go try to find somebody better than your bench that you had last year. Which might not be a bad idea, because we thought we had depth, and when we got to the playoffs, it didn't look like it.
Well, yeah, because of injury-wise and not playing.
You didn't use Derrick Rose, you didn't, so...
IQ was hurt. Yeah, you don't use Derrick Rose.
It's going to look like no matter what they do, if they do start trading, moving, and shaking, we're going to look revamped anyway. Because once you move Randall, or say you move Randall, and say Obi got thrown in there, or not even Obi, Fournier, I'm trying to think of somebody, quickly got thrown in it. And we got some big trade, or like Towns or something. Then you try to do something with RJ, and they say don't want RJ, Obi got thrown in it. And we got an even swap. And maybe we do think the player is better than RJ. The whole team look different now.
Well, yeah.
And then the dynamic of, we kept the players we drafted go out the window now. Because now after, you said 5 years, the team just looks different. So I don't know if they're just trying to keep the culture of the players.
Well, our players, if we're going to we don't have to get rid of, especially on our bench, if you're going to allow them to do what they came to do, especially the ones that we drafted, you don't necessarily have to get rid of them, but let them play to the potential that you drafted them. Like, that's why when they say sometimes the Knicks, the players they let go too soon, because you're not allowing them to be who they are. And, we beat this in the head every so many months, but that's on the Knicks. And sometimes players are given opportunity to play, but they're not given opportunity to shine. Because when Randall's out there, Obi's not going to shine. But he could shine at the 3. Because Randall proves that he will pass the ball. But the Knicks just have to, pull the trigger and go out and do that. That's why a lot of people are not as crazy about the Milwaukee thing of looking into Middleton because of his age. I say look into it. Because, he may get injured. He don't get injured that often. But he would be a steady force if he still kept Randall. Same to be said for Brooklyn, with all the talk of maybe trying to sneak in there and still a shooter and Steph Curry, and then still try to look at Bridges. You bring in another legitimate 3 who can slide between the 2 and the 3, who his jump shot is not going to fail you, and he going to D up. So you solve your 3 and D.
Yeah, I think because
player.
Bridges is a perfect fit. The way he talks, the way he plays, that's like bringing in when we bring in our heart. Just like that. I feel like that would be another dog that you bring in that's going to do what
he'll seize the opportunity.
Then maybe not having an OB or it don't feel so bad.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
No, that you get him, but I just think
you got him and Towns, then it don't feel so bad.
Yeah, they come. Yeah.
Now it look like it makes sense.
Yeah,
I think that's what the Knicks probably trouble is, trying to find 1 or 2 players that make sense with Brunson.
Well, that's it. To
That
me,
right there makes sense with Brunson.
that makes excellent sense.
They're probably gonna move the ball. They all can shoot. So if 3 people can shoot, 2 of the 3 know how to be the man. We good right there.
Yeah.
Towns know how to be the man.
Well,
and pass the ball.
That was my argument that if we don't get with those other small forwards that I was naming, if we don't get a stretch big man at whatever position, a stretch 6'10", 6'11", or center, then the scoring small forward who can get you definite buckets, then that makes sense. If you're not going to get the stretch big man, in Towns you get both. You get a stretch big man and a true center. So to me, the Knicks, the upside looks good going into next season. But again, why keep waiting to pull trigger? Okay, we aren't supposed to know because we're saying don't publicize out front. But at the same time, don't wait till the end is near and saying, I don't want to hear later on what you was gonna do. Let's get on the phone and let's make things happen. Because let's look at Phoenix. Phoenix didn't really lose nothing in giving up Chris Paul for them.
Yeah, no.
But they made the move, and that's what I like, just some of the aggressive moves.
Maybe leadership, but...
Well, we got the draft capital and we got the bait, and we know that RJ, Fournier, and Rose, salary-wise, are the best bait, but then you got people looking at OB and IQ. Do you want to part with it? You don't want to. But you have the capital to get out and make something happen.
And you said that, I feel like Brooklyn will take RJ, Derrick Rose, Fournier for Mikal Bridges. Yeah, because I don't think they're gonna feel like they're gonna go anywhere, and I'm pretty sure they may see the value in Bridges, and also in Seth. But they may be looking to get pieces that they can market. You can still market RJ, regardless of what he did or didn't do for us. You can market him. So I just think the Knicks make a move, do something. Don't just stand there and wait till everything is already gone. Right. But again, if you coming back. And then we just find that piece to dump in there, which to me has to be the RJ piece, to dump any one of them small forwards in there. Not that we're mentioning everybody, but you're not that far away from wherever you want to be. And then last we're going to talk about today is that Stephen A. Smith is at it again. What happened?
All right, so now he's talking about he's going to have this little campaign trying to have a coaching change, trying to change Thibodeau and campaign for Ty Lue. See, Stephen A., he does this.
Give Thibodeau another shot.
Yeah, Thibodeau might not be the best adjustment offensively, but he has the respect of the players. Yeah. So that means there's still room that you can try to get it right. I would just like to see somebody on his bench be offensive minded.
In the playoffs, it ain't completely his fault. If y'all not scoring, then whose fault is that?
Well, to me, Lou definitely ain't the answer to me. I I like him. If you already have those type of stars, and him and Brunson could probably build some sort of a chemistry, but Ty Lue is he's the same as Tibbs when it comes to making adjustments and making he don't got no, when you have LeBron and then you have a healthy Kawhi, you still ain't doing that with Kawhi and Paul George. So I don't see why Stephen A. feel like Ty Lue, as he's saying, is like the third, fourth best coach in the league. I don't know where the hell you get that from. Even a day of having younger coaches. You know, I like Ty Lue, but I don't like him like that. I like the culture building that Tibbs gave us. He gave us respect around the league. I saw the podcast with Paul George where he had Julius Randle on a week or so ago. You know, like the respect factor's there. And part of that because Tibbs built that. Right. You know, so it's up to us to go out there and put the hammer, you know, out there on the court. But at least Tibbs gives our players that where other people respect you.
And if they was going to do that, I would have hoped they would have just bended that.
Well,
if you was going to switch your coach.
Well, I mean, if you're going to,
You would have right this second.
And neither, and they both going, I think they both like contracts are up next year. Okay, next year come, now you can look and see what you want to do.
They got to learn a whole nother system.
Well, I don't know about, defensive system, I don't know what kind of offensive system we got.
Right.
Yeah, but anyway, people, the draft is Thursday. I'm not high on it. You know, of course, the Knicks are good at finding pieces late in the draft, bringing in players. But again, if we're going to do all this and we don't use the players, then to me, that's why, you know, until we really in the lottery.
We always got exciting players in the summer league, but we don't do
Well, we don't let them come back and play the game. Yeah, so, you know, with that said, I'm not as high. I'm going to watch it, of course, and we'll critique it. But I'm not as high on the draft as I am when free agency comes along. All right, but again, before we go, we ask you like, comment, subscribe. It don't cost you nothing. Just hit that button for us. All right, till next time. Peace.
Peace.